Hello, I'm Terrell Carter, and I'm the author of Healing Racial Divides, Finding Strength in Our Diversity. And I want you to listen to these stories and tell me if you can see the difference in the people that are affected in the story. While at a zoo in Kansas, a child crawled over some barriers and fell into a leopard exhibit, and the child was mauled. At a Pittsburgh zoo, a child was mauled to death after the child jumped out of its mother's arms and fell into a wild African dog exhibit. At an Arkansas zoo, a child crawled over barriers again and entered a wild cat exhibit and was severely injured. While at a Cleveland zoo, a child suffered injuries after he fell 10 feet into a cheetah exhibit. And just this month, January of 2019, a young girl was injured at a public rhino exhibit in Orlando, Florida. In these instances, the parents of these children, for the most part, were not vilified, they were not demonized, and in general, there was great public outcry on behalf of the families. But let's listen to another example. In 2016, a young child crawled over some barriers and fell into a gorilla exhibit, and the gorilla grabbed the child and began to drag him around the gorilla enclosure. And unfortunately, that gorilla named Harambe was shot and killed in order to save the child. The public outcry against that child and against that child's family was immediate and overwhelming. The parents were made into villains. Some of the most intimate details of their lives were exposed on the internet, and they became someone or some people that became associated with some of the most negative things that happened in 2016. Now, what was the difference between that first group of children that I mentioned and this last example? The first group of children were all white, and the last child that was involved in the Harambe incident was black. These are just a few examples of how we hold different people groups to different standards. If one group of people does something, then we can usually forgive them and overlook them. But when another group does the exact same thing or experiences the exact same thing, we villainize them for having the same experience. One of my hopes in writing Healing Racial Divides, Finding Strength in Our Diversity, is to help us identify this imbalance in how we view certain people groups, and in the end, seek to see each other as fully equal, as being created, all of us, in the image of God, and to figure out ways how we can hold each other to the same standards of love, patience, kindness, and forgiveness and redemption, regardless of what race or ethnicity we are. Again, please consider purchasing Healing Racial Divides, Finding Strength in Our Diversities wherever books are sold.